Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relix, and today we'll be going over two more players for our LA Kings player reviews of this 2022-23 season. Today we'll go over Sean Durzi to start. So Sean Durzi, who we just traded away this offseason, he, in my opinion, is our number 2D. But of course, now that is in itself is a lot of controversy. I know from a lot of comments sections that no one liked Durzi, and I feel like that's terrible. That's a terrible thought because he was honestly our next best D as far as overall performance, at least in my opinion. But of course, that's not how everyone else saw him, and apparently that's not how the Kings organization saw him. After Doughty got hurt 2 seasons ago, Durzi stepped up. He came up and became the number 1 defenseman on the team, and he proved to be that good. And so it's very disappointing to see that the Kings just tossed him aside, just got rid of him for nothing. Not to mention he was the cheapest defenseman too, at a 1.7 mil for one more year. Yeah, I don't know what Rob Blake was thinking. I made a whole video on the Dubois trade, and I believe I explained Durzi's trade as well. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm very disgusted by the trade, but it is what it is. And so I wish him all the luck in Arizona. But as far as this past season, 72 games played, 9 goals, which ties all D-men for goal lead, and 29 assists for 38 points, which is good for second on the team in defenseman scoring. He also got a -12, which led the team in minuses. However, and I will get back to it later, that is because he also played empty net situations. So like I said, I'll get back to that later. He had 50 penalty minutes in total. Again, he does have some fights, and he does have a fight in his heart to stick up for his teammates, and I have no problem with that at all. So I think that just adds to how great of a defenseman he is, how great of a teammate he is. And then he also got 1 goal on the power play with 15 power play assists for 16 points, which I think he did a phenomenal job quarterbacking the second unit. Honestly, I wish he shot more, but the second unit really wasn't there to score, unfortunately. It's just more of an energy booster. And I think they didn't play the power play right this past season enough, and the second unit definitely could have had more goals. Durzi definitely did a really good job quarterbacking that second power play unit. And that's where I'm confused, why did we get rid of Durzi? Who's going to do it this year? Not sure. Doughty obviously takes care of the first unit, but who's going to be on the second unit? And if Durzi wasn't the one doing it, I believe it was Walker that was the guy who came in and did it. So Walker's gone as well. I don't know how they're going to figure out the second unit, but we'll see. As far as what we see now, without Iafallo, without Velarde, that second unit is going to be completely different. So we'll see how things go. Continuing with Durzi's stats, though, which is a phenomenal number again, he had 142 blocks. That's good for second on the team in blocks under Mikey Anderson. So again, an offensive defenseman, but he is still blocking just as many shots. Again, I think Durzi definitely was one of our best defensemen on the team, if not one of our better players. And unfortunately, no one saw it that way. 1947 time on ice, which is good for 5th on the team, but amongst all the defensemen total, that's 4th. So, either way, he still plays a lot of big minutes, and defensively as well. So, I think he proved himself to be a really strong, in my opinion, number 2 defenseman. I usually base my defensemen by lines, and I'd say he's a solid first line defenseman, style defenseman, as well as a number 2 on any team. That's just my opinion. But unfortunately, teams don't. The Kings didn't see him that way. Apparently, fans don't see him that way, and he got the boot. But again, you guys have to remember, he played the left D, the left-hand side, being a right-handed player. He's a right defenseman playing the left D, and I think everyone forgets that happened, and that he has a disadvantage. So every time he messes up or turns over the puck, it's because he's on the wrong side. And everyone criticizes, hey, Durzi just turns over the puck. He doesn't do anything right, and leads to goals against. Well, even the Kings organization, I don't even think realizes it. They realized their own mistake, and they played him on the left D. Now, granted, I think he did a great job. But again, I always contribute to what are the forwards doing as well as what is the defenseman doing together as a pair. And like I always said, as a number 2 defenseman on the team, he is playing with the top end players. So players like Kempe and Fiala and Moore and Arvidsson and Deneau, the guys who didn't get the highest plus minuses nor played defense at all. So in my opinion, if anything, forwards didn't back check, therefore the defenseman failed as well. Another thing I have to note is his defense partner Roy. He was a +8 on the season, and just because Durzi is a -12 doesn't mean that he played bad. It's because Roy doesn't play any power play, nor does he play any empty net situations. And so during empty net situations, Durzi's getting minuses because, again, he and Doughty are the 2 defensemen that the Kings want out to get the offense, right? So for every goal against, that's another minus for Durzi. So we have to keep that in mind, that it's not Durzi's fault if his minus is worse on the team. Now, put that into perspective, plus minus wise, the next lowest plus minus above, if Durzi is a -12 total on the season, the next plus minus guy who is in a empty net situation was Fiala, +2. So he's not that far off from an even rating or a minus. And he plays empty net situations as well. And then next up after that is Doughty, +12. So honestly, you can't say it's Durzi's fault. Because if you look at all the other guys who have minuses or are single-digit plus minuses, they're the bottom guys. Like the third, fourth liners, forwards, and the lower ND. So honestly, you can't blame Durzi for having that low of a plus minus. He had to play empty net situations, and unfortunately, he got scored on because the Kings just suck at empty nets. So that's my opinion, though. It is what it is, and unfortunately, he got the boot. So I don't know how the Kings are going to do this season as far as defensemen. I don't like the way things are looking up, but we will see. We will see how the Kings want to play it out and figure out how to do the right D, because we do have a lot. We have Doughty, Roy, Clark, and Spence on the right. So it's unfortunate that someone had to leave. And not to mention, if we kept Durzi and Walker, that's 2 more right there. So I think it sucks, but it is what it is, and those 2 are gone. So, oh well. Again, I was furious about the trade, but we got to move on. And speaking of moving on, let's go to his D partner, Roy, for most of the season until Gavrikov came in. Roy played all 82 games, so that's a great start for him. As far as defenseman is concerned, he was probably the most stable defenseman on the blue line the entire season. I say Doughty's the best, Durzi's number 2, but as far as game by game basis, Roy was the most consistent. He is the most stable defenseman on the blue line, and that's because he didn't do anything wrong. Honestly, if I had to say something about every player, Roy's the only one that I can say really didn't do anything wrong. He's the only one who did everything, to me, right or good enough. He got 9 goals, which again ties goal lead for defensemen with Doughty and Durzi. He also had 17 assists for a 26-point season. And even though it's 26 points in 82 games, I still feel like for him, for a style player that he is and skill level for the game, he did a phenomenal job on the season. He did everything he needed to do, and I can't ask more of that. And like I said before, he had a +8, which is kind of in the middle of the team. Not too bad. Again, standard number 2. He was actually on the second line D pair, and stable the entire season. He stayed right there, and hardly takes penalty minutes. He had 22. Again, he doesn't play power play, but he got a shorthanded goal and a shorthanded assist. So he can play good defense on the PK, which is great because our PK definitely needs to improve. And as far as block shots, so actually I made a correction on myself here. Durzi had second block shots on the team. Roy was first. Roy was first with 153. So that just goes to show that that defensive pairing of Durzi and Roy was absolutely stellar defensively. So again, they are taking a lot of block shots. Now, does that mean that they are receiving a lot of shots against? Probably, which means that they are probably being paired with Deneau's line. Like I said before in other videos, the second line on the Kings was probably the worst forward line because the defense was lacking. And if Mikey Anderson and Drew Doughty are playing with Kopitar's line, that means Deneau's line is the one that getting scored on. Therefore, Durzi and Roy are suffering and have to do a lot more defense. So take that into perspective as you will. So yeah, as far as Roy is concerned, third in hits on the team, first full NHL season, and I think he did an absolutely stellar job on the blue line. I can't say anything wrong for him, and I think it's going to be exciting looking forward to this season. Again, Durzi's gone, so now Gavrikov is his new partner, and he was his partner for the past, 20 games, I think, towards the end of the season. Maybe less than that, I'm not even sure. But they did a great job. So even though Durzi wasn't his partner anymore, Roy still kept up the work, and he played a great defensive game, as well as a offensive game. Honestly, I don't think anyone was expecting him to get 9 goals, and yet he did. So if he can keep up everything that he did this season, I think no one will expect anything more, anything less. And do I think he's going to get like another 9-goal season? Probably not. Maybe somewhere like a 5 or 6. He's not offensive style, and I think that will reflect his stats. But I can't ask more for him because he did an amazing job on the blue line. And again, like I said, I keep repeating myself, but I think he did a great job. One of the most stable defensemen. And if I had to do player comparisons, while Iafallo was the best like two-way kind of style middle guy on the team for forwards, Roy was that for the defenseman. So I look forward to this season, seeing how he plays. I look forward to seeing him grow as a person and a player, and hopefully, improve. Honestly, still young, so I'm hoping that he still improves and probably does better this season, if anything. But I just know that I can trust him, and I can say nothing wrong about him because I think he played a perfect game this season for what he is, for his style of play. So that's it for now. Now we've done the top 4D. We're probably going to move on to the bottom guys for both forwards and defensemen going forward. Probably still do 2 people per video, but we'll see. We'll see what I have to say. I'm going to gather my thoughts and see what I want to talk about. But if you guys like this video, hit the like button. Comment down below what you guys thought. Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me know. I want to know if you guys agree with me. Specifically about Durzi, because I love Durzi, and I thought he was going to be the future of our Kings. But unfortunately, that's not the way they saw it, and I guess that's not the way that the fans saw it. So he's gone, and it is what it is. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't as well. And stay tuned for the next episode, as well as other content. Again, like I said, we're going to move on to the bottom guys now on the team. And this is where I'll probably get more nitty-gritty. But at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, we'll just keep on explaining why we didn't go deep in the playoffs, right? So, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.